Welcome to SREEDHAR'S CCE. It is all about today's Hindu Editorial Analysis. And before I start the session, I would like to start the session with a quote. What is today's quote? Today's quote is, there is no difference between a person who does not read good books and a person who cannot read books. There are two persons. One person can read books but does not read good books. The other person cannot read books. And when a person who can read the books does not read good books, there is no difference between that person and a person who cannot read books. A very useful quote. What is the message here? The message is, if you can read books, you have to read good books. Only then you can improve your personality and you can reach a different heights from intellectual caliber point of view. Coming to today's editorial is all about hit and run cases, a new section based on the new penal code, or it is known as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. What is this new section? It is 106, and based on this, the drivers have gone on a strike. Of course, they went on strike, and based on the assurance from the center, they called off the strike. And this today's editorial, you have to read once or twice a few sentences because it deals with legal dimensions. But to understand any editorial, because today is the first session, at the outset, I would like to tell the importance of reading an editorial every day. When you go to the page 8 of the Hindu paper, known as editorial page, on the left you have two short editorials. On the right you have the main editorial. Don't touch the main editorial. But on the left of the two editorials, short editorials, you have to read one every day consistently, religiously. You may ask, sir, why should we read the Hindu headlines and the editorial? When you read the editorial, obviously you come across a lot of effective words, a few idioms, a few phrasal verbs, and also you come across prepositional combinations and some sentence patterns important from the exam point of view. When you read every day, besides these, you are exposed to a variety of context. And in the exam, you get the same context, same words, same idioms, same phrasal verbs, same prepositional combinations. Obviously, based on this awareness, in the exam you can answer many questions effortlessly. That's why one has to read the Hindu editorial every day. Now, when you read the editorial, at the outset you may not understand. What is the reason? There are two problems. One problem, you come across unfamiliar context, you don't have the background information. Second and major problem, every editorial you come across 10 to 15 new words, the meanings of which you don't know. And when you don't know the meanings, obviously you cannot understand. When you don't know the background, you cannot understand. But background today, if you Google, you get the background information. Every time you don't have to do that. But meanings of words you have to know to understand the editorial. And to make it easy for you people, first I'll start with the editorial vocabulary. I will tell the words and the meanings. Then we'll go to editorial analysis. Today you have about 10 to 15 words. Let us have a look at these words. And one more thing, when you want to learn a particular word, usually what people do, they take the word and they look at the meaning, they close the dictionary. That does not help from the exam point of view. Every word, first and foremost, you have to know the part of speech, the meaning, the examples, and also, if you have time, you have to know the word forms, word combinations, collocations, word usage, synonyms, antonyms. When you know all these dimensions, then you're ready for the exam. But today we look at the word, part of speech, and the meaning. What is the first word over here? Aggravate. Aggravate means to make something worse. Already something is bad, you make it worse, then we use the word aggravate. Part of speech verb, it's a regular verb. Aggravate, aggravated, aggravated. Imagine the situation is bad. Someone is trying to make it worse. Then we say, don't aggravate the situation. Second word here, scrutinize. Scrutiny, from that you get the word scrutinize. Scrutinize means, part of speech verb, examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. When you examine something thoroughly, that means you are scrutinizing that. All these are important words. Abstain. Abstain is also a verb. It's a regular verb. Restrain oneself from doing or enjoying something. You may ask, what is the meaning of the word refrain? Abstain, refrain, restrain. You can also use the word refrain. Means hold yourself from indulging in a particular activity, from something that gives you pleasure, and you stay back and you don't get into that, then we use the word abstain. This is an important word from the exam point of view because it takes a preposition from, abstain from something, and restrain also from something. Resort. We all know the word resort is a noun, summer resort, winter resort, but here it has been used as a verb. As a verb, turn to and adopt a course of action, especially an extreme or undesirable one, so as to resolve a difficult situation. Imagine you are in a difficult situation and you resort to a particular action. Means what? You adopt a particular action, you take a particular action. Then we say, they have resorted. Imagine a group of people, initially they protest, they demand, they request, nothing works out. Then they resort to violence. Means what? They get into violent act or into violence. The next word, stringent. When you learn the part of speech, the meaning, along with these two, you have to learn the word combinations, word forms, very important. The word stringent goes with rules and regulations, part of speech adjective, marked by rigor, strictness or severity. When we talk about rules and regulations, we say stringent rules. Stringent rules means what? Very strict rules. The next one, fatalities. Fatality, part of speech noun. But this comes from fatal. Fatal means adjective causing death. Based on that, fatalities, an occurrence of death by accident in war or from disease. Usually accident, fatal death. War also you can use. Disease also we can use. Culpable. These two words are very important because today's editorial is based on this particular thing. The two words, culpable, homicide. Culpable, adjective, deserving blame. Someone does something whether it deserves blame or not. It deserves blame, then we use the word culpable, adjective, and it goes with the word homicide. It's an important word. You may ask, sir, why? Homicide, here you have a suffix, C-I-D-E, side. Side means what? Kill someone. And once you learn, if you try to enrich your word power with the help of prefixes, suffixes, roots, you can learn a lot of words, one shot. For example, if you take this suffix side, to kill, homicide. Homo means a person, human being. One human being kills another human being. It is known as a case of homicide. Genocide. Killing a particular people of a particular race or community. We use the word genocide. Genocide is an important word. Genocide, they have given in competitive exams many a time. And you can think of words like patricide, matricide. Patricide means killing one's father. Matricide, killing one's mother. And fratricide, killing one's brother or sister. Insecticide, infanticide, feticide. All these words you have to recollect. Flee, part of speech verb. Flee, fled, fled. What does it mean? To run away from danger. Imagine someone commits crime or there is a thief. The thief sees a policeman. Immediately what does he try to do? He tries to escape. Then we use the word flee. And lynching. Lynching, in fact, it has been in the limelight for quite some time. Lynching means what? Mob killing. A group of people kill someone for an alleged offense without a legal trial, especially by hanging. Usually this goes with village places. Someone commits a crime or suspicion, allegation, accusation. Then a group of people try to catch that person and kill that person. That is known as lynching, an important word. And onus. Onus, part of speech, noun. Onus is nothing but responsibility. Something that is one's duty or responsibility. These are the words from today's editorial. Now let us go to the editorial and see how it starts. Striking fear. Striking fear you may not understand. Here in this context it means causing fear. Based on what? On hit and run accident cases and section 106 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. So this is all about hit and run cases. Based on that, in the past we had 304A. Now in place of 304A, they have brought out a new section 106. And why based on this new section 106, why the drivers fear, why does it cause fear among the drivers? The editorial discusses. Coming to the main idea, this is the main idea of this editorial. Coming to the main idea of this editorial, driver strike is a test for severity of hit and run clause in new penal code. It's all about the new penal code, and it's also about driver strike is a test for severity of hit and how severe it is, the offense or the crime or the wrong thing. How test for severity of hit and run clause in new penal code. Let us see how it starts, how it goes. Here I have separated the sentences. When you read every sentence, you have to look at and ask yourself, have I understood the sentence? Have I understood the meaning? Could I comprehend the meaning of this sentence? If you get the answer yes, go to the next one. If you get the no answer, then find out why you could not understand. Is it because of the context? Because of the vocabulary? Vocabulary have provided the meaning, should not be a problem. And once you know the meanings, to a great extent, you can easily follow the editorial. The provision in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita BNS that treats hit and run accident cases as an aggravated form of the offense of causing death by rashness or negligence will be the first in the new, yet to be implemented code to be scrutinized for its severity. It's all about the severity of this particular hit and run case and the new section. The provision in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita that treats, it's all about a particular case. Which case is that? Hit and run accident cases as an aggravated form of the offense. Aggravate means make something from bad to worse. Aggravate something means already something is bad, we try to make it worse. Aggravated form of the offense means higher level of offense of causing death by rashness or negligence. Rash driving, negligent driving. Two words. Rash driving. Usually we talk about driving, we use rash driving. Means what? Very fast and reckless. We say rash driving. And negligence means not considering certain important things. You neglect, negligence. Will be the first in the new. This is the first thing in the new, yet to be implemented code, to be scrutinized for its severity. The first thing to be scrutinized for its severity. This particular thing. And yet to be implemented, that is an important expression from the exam point of view. It means what? Yet to be implemented, not implemented yet. There are two patterns. The train, if you take a particular train, you ask a question, has the train come? The train hasn't come yet. The word yet should be at the end of the sentence. We can also say yet to come. Yet to come is a standard phrase. Here, yet to be implemented, it is in passive voice. Let us go to the next sentence. Now, a new law, a new code, obviously, who is going to face the brunt of that particular law or the code? The truck drivers. Based on this, because it is going to go to a higher level, looking at the severity, the truck drivers fear they may have to face the brunt of this particular thing. That means the most severe part of something. And based on that, they went on strike. It talks about with truck drivers worried about the implications of Section 106 of the BNS abstaining from work. Because of this, they went on strike. To express that idea, this sentence, look at this sentence, with truck drivers abstaining from work means what? Not working, going on strike. Because of the worry. What is the worry here? Worried about the implications of Section 106 of the BNS, abstaining from work, the government has promised, because they went on strike, immediately the government has promised, provided some sort of assurance. The government has promised to bring it into play only after consultations with the All India Motor Transport Congress. They announced something. Based on that, a lot of apprehensions. The drivers, truck drivers, based on the apprehensions, they went on strike. Looking at the strike and the reaction of the truck drivers, immediately the government assured the truck drivers it is only a law, it is only a code, a particular section, not implemented yet. And after negotiations, we are going to implement. They give some sort of assurance. The government has promised to bring it into play, means make it active or invoke only after consultations with the All India Motor Transport Congress. They are going to consult All India Motor Transport Congress only after the consultations, negotiations, and some sort of consensus, it will be implemented. So for the truck drivers, at this juncture, no need to worry. However, now whenever you come across the word however, it talks about two things. One, contrasting idea, and also continuity. Writing is all about coherence. Coherence means what? Smooth and logical flow of sentences. If you list out points, that is not writing skill. But one sentence to another sentence, one idea to another idea, we have to use the link words or connecting words. And it is a link word. However, it expresses a contrast. However, with the transporter's body, today I'm not focusing on the grammar aspect to a great extent. I will try to do it from the comprehension point of view. But still, I am forced to talk about a particular thing, an important thing. What is it? Transporter's body. Here you see a noun in the plural form, ending in the letter S. Whenever a plural noun ends in the letter S, you have to use apostrophe after the letter S, not before. Usually, when it comes to possessive case, we use apostrophe before the letter S, not after. But here, the noun is a plural noun. It ends in the letter S. Then we have to use the apostrophe after the letter S. That is an important thing you have to remember. However, with the transporter's body taking the stand that the strike was primarily resorted to by the drivers. The strike was called by the drivers, resorted to, it takes a preposition to, by the drivers who feared additional criminal liability. The issue will require tactful handling. There are two things over here. One is the truck owners, one group. We have two groups. One is the truck owners, the other one truck drivers. This sentence talks about with the transporter's body taking the stand that the strike was primarily resorted to by the drivers, not the transport owners. The drivers who feared additional criminal liability. The issue will require tactful handling. Means we have to deal with the issue very carefully, tactfully. It has now become an issue that concerns transport workers than those running the business of transportation. As I said, we have two groups. Those who run the business of transportation and the transport workers. In this context, the truck drivers. Now it is related to truck drivers, not related to those who run the business. It has now become an issue that concerns transport workers, means truck drivers, than those running the business of transportation, not the truck owners. It may appear that a strike against a law that makes penal provisions concerning hit and run accidents more stringent is unjustified. Whenever there is a particular law, it makes rules and regulations very strict or stringent, and based on that someone goes on strike. At the outset, it looks like it cannot be justified. This is what the sentence says. It may appear that a strike against a law that makes penal provisions concerning hit and run accidents more stringent is unjustified. Law is very strict, you have to be happy. You should not go against that law, so it cannot be justified. At the outset, it looks like that, especially in the context of road accidents becoming a leading source of fatalities in the country. Especially, why especially it cannot be justified if they go on strike. Today, if you look at the sources of fatality, death, the leading source is accidents. The second part talks about that. Especially in the context of road accidents becoming a leading source of fatalities in the country. However, it cannot be justified, the writer says. Again, contrasting information, continuity of the idea. However, it has also drawn attention. Draw attention, an important expression. Means what? Catch attention, and you feel like looking at that meticulously. It has also drawn attention to the question whether there was a case for increasing the jail term for accidents from 2 to 5 years in all cases, and to 10 in the case of failure to report them to the authorities. Now it raises a question, whether is it a genuine case, whether if at all there is a case. The new law, the new section says, in the past it was 2 years, now it may go to 5 years, it may go to 10 years also, and can it be justified? The writer questions, there is a question. It has also drawn attention to the question, whether there was a case for increasing. Is it required to increase the jail term? Is it required to increase the jail term? That is a question, a pertinent question. This is about the first part of the editorial. We'll go to the second part of the editorial. The second part of the editorial, what does it talk about? We'll see. Give me a second. This is the second part of the editorial. It talks about what was it in the past, what is it now. In the past we had 304A, section. Now we have section 106. It talks about the difference between the past one and the new one. Section 106 of the BNS will replace section 304A of the IPC, Indian Penal Code, which punished the causing of death by rash and negligent act that does not amount to culpable homicide. 304A did not consider hit and run case or act causing death something like culpable homicide, did not consider. Section 106 of the BNS will replace old section 304A of the IPC, that old section which punished the causing of death by rash and negligent act that does not amount to culpable homicide. It is not equal to culpable homicide. Now the new one, the old one, the existing section provides for a 2-year jail term. That is in the past. Now coming to section 106, there are 3 components to section 106. What is the first one here? First, it prescribes a prison term of up to 5 years, besides a fine, for causing death due to rash or negligent acts. Earlier 2 years, now it has gone up to 5 years, and besides a fine. First, it prescribes a prison term of up to 5 years, increased, besides a fine for causing death due to rash or negligent acts. Second, it provides for reduced criminal liability for registered medical doctors of 2 years in jail if death occurred in the course of a medical procedure. Imagine a medical procedure, death happened. That is another case. In that case, it provides for reduced criminal liability for registered medical doctors of 2 years in jail, already 2 years in jail, if death occurred in the course of a medical procedure. The second clause, this is something important. The second clause concerns road accidents in which, if the person involved in rash and negligent driving escapes without reporting it to a public police officer or a magistrate soon after the incident, the imprisonment may extend to 10 years and a fine. Now what does it mean? Someone hits or causes accident. After the accident, he does not inform the police or the district magistrate, then the imprisonment may go up to extend to 10 years and a fine. Drivers flee an accident scene out of fear of lynching. Generally what happens, an accident. After that, the driver escapes from the scene. Why does he escape? The people around, in and around that particular spot, they try to catch the driver and they try to hit him, obviously. Sometimes it may result in the death of the driver. Then it is known as lynching. So any driver, whenever there is an accident, tries to escape. Flee means what? Escape from danger. Drivers flee an accident scene out of fear of lynching. They are afraid. Once they are caught, the public may kill that particular driver. In such cases, the authorities seem to believe that such drivers can move away from the scene of crime and then report to the police. In that situation, what the authorities say, in that situation, the driver has to move away from the scene, escape from the scene, but should not completely escape, should inform the police or the officials. The term hit and run is one in which the offending vehicle is not identified. Now, when do we call hit and run case? Someone causes accident and you don't know who caused the accident. What is the number, the vehicle number, we don't know. Then we call it hit and run case. The term hit and run is one in which the offending vehicle is not identified. It must be emphasized that once the person causing a fatal accident is identified, the onus on the police to prove culpability for rashness or negligence remains the same. Imagine they have identified the person who caused the accident. Then the responsibility, onus means what? Responsibility lies with the police to prove whether it was rash, negligent driving or not. It is the same responsibility. How does the editorial end? Given that many accidents are caused due to poor road conditions too, a relevant question is whether the law should focus on raising prison terms or a comprehensive accident prevention policy package covering imprisonment, compensation and safety. There is another dimension to this. What is the other dimension? Accidents may happen for 2 reasons. One, negligence of drivers, and the other, negligence of the pedestrians also, jaywalkers. The second one, because of bad roads. Imagine the driver is going, all of a sudden the driver comes across a pothole or a puddle and he wants to escape the puddle or the pothole. It may result in an accident. And that is an important dimension it talks about. What does it talk about here? The last sentence talks about, please give me a second. It talks about a particular question. What is the question here? Is it because of driver's negligence or is it because of bad roads? Two dimensions are there. Given that many accidents are caused due to poor road conditions too, a relevant question, a pertinent question is whether the law should focus on raising prison terms. Do they have to focus on, in this context, they try to raise the prison terms. Do they have to do that? Or on a comprehensive accident prevention policy package covering imprisonment, compensation, and safety? Or do they have to come up with a comprehensive prevention policy package? Comprehensive means exhaustive, touching all the dimensions. This is all about the editorial. Now, based on this editorial, I have brought a few questions to improve your comprehension skill. Let us go to the questions based on this editorial. I don't know how many students are there. Those who are there, try to respond. I will read the question. You see the options, and you have to respond. What is the first question here? What is the primary concern of truck drivers regarding section 106 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita? What is the primary concern of truck drivers? I'll wait for a few seconds, and if you respond, then I will confirm. If not, I will give the answer. There is one student here, Pravalika, says B. Increased fines for road violations not correct. Fear of additional criminal liability in hit and run cases. Seems to be right. Lack of representation in the government's decision making. Dissatisfaction with the All India Motor Transport Congress. What is the answer here? The answer is the, The answer is B. She has got it right. What is the answer here? B is the answer. Fear of additional criminal liability in hit and run cases. Now let us go to question number 2. Read the second question. Which provision in the BNS is being scrutinized for its severity, particularly by truck drivers? Warren also says the B. Let us go to question number 2. Which provision in the BNS is being scrutinized for its severity, particularly by truck drivers? Section 304A of the IPC, Section 106 of the BNS, Section 10 of the Motor Vehicles Act, Section 5 of the Road Safety Code. Easy to answer, should not be a problem. No one has responded. Answer is obviously this is all about Section 106 of the BNS. For the second question also answer is B. Now I see your response. No. It is not question number 2. Answer is B. It is about the severity of Section 106 of the BNS. Let us go to question number 3. What does Section 106 of the BNS replace from the Indian Penal Code? 106 replaces a particular one. Audio not clear. Who is that? Someone says audio not clear, but you are the only one. Check your settings, because had there been a problem, other students would have said the same thing. Only one student says, then there is a problem at your end, not at our end. Which section? Obviously, Section 304A, causing death by rash and negligent act. Answer is C. Not 302. It is 304A. Answer is C. Let us go to question number 4. What is the potential jail term for causing death due to rash or negligent act as per Section 106 of the BNS? Yes, Ganesh says C, that is true. Let us go to Question number 4. Potential jail term. 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. Should not be that difficult to answer. It is, I'll wait for a few seconds. Varun says B, up to 5 years. It is up to 10 years. What is the potential? Maximum is what? 10 years. Answer is D. According to the editorial, why do some drivers flee the scene of a hit and run accident? Whenever there is an accident, the driver flees, means escapes from that spot. Why does the driver do that? What is the reason behind? To avoid paying fines, fear of lynching, lack of awareness about the legal consequences, to protest against the government. Clearly mentioned, all these questions are based on explicit information. Answer is fear of lynching. B is the answer. Very good. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me. Have a nice day. I will see you tomorrow. But do remember, when you attend the session related to editorial analysis, what are the benefits? You learn a lot of words. You learn a few idioms and phrasal verbs, a few prepositional combinations, and the most important thing, you develop contextual awareness. You are exposed to a variety of contexts, and this will help in the long run. Today, many questions, bank exams especially, based on contextual awareness. How do you develop contextual awareness? How do you get? You have to read a lot. Extensive reading is required. If not, attend a session like this, then you will definitely get awareness, contextual awareness. That will definitely help in the long run. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.